Now, last night there were 15 or 16 students sitting around.
Correct.
You were telling stories by the fireplace.
Correct.
Do you like having the QLA students in your home? Because they're here, for those who were here, they were here for 10 days. And then they go, and then it's kind of very quiet.
Well, it seems very quiet. Yeah, but I do, because I want them to understand that the high-performance people that I talk about and I point out the whole week have houses, maybe not like this, but they have homes, and they have families, but they don't see much of their families, and that's one of the things that we talk about, the sacrifices that are necessary to become a high-performance person. But every night during the regular seminar, they view a movie that I think is germane to what we covered that day. During the hardcore of the 9 nights, they only had movies 6 nights. Like we see the life of Andrew Carnegie, we see Tom Edison's life, Henry Ford's. And the next morning I said, well, what's the takeaway? And every morning, the first morning when they saw the movie about Andrew Carnegie, who's the greatest entrepreneur of all time in my judgment, who comes from just down the road in Dunfermline, he said he was ruthless. I said, okay. Next night, Henry Ford. What's the takeaway? He was fucking ruthless. Night after night, guy after guy, same question, and what was the takeaway? He was fucking ruthless. So after the 6th night, I say, as Tony Robbins and I agree on this, success leaves clues. So what does that tell you? They're all fucking ruthless. Ray Kroc was an asshole. Extraordinaire. First-class prick. And what have you been taught all your life not to be? Right? And you wonder why it's so hard. The barrier to entry to this model is low. But the emotional barrier to entry is high. The physical, doing the shit, following the steps, 7 steps. What the fuck? Scripts, they tell you the words. But the emotional barrier is a high motherfucker. Because you've got 45, 51, 38, 29 years of training. Poor training. I see on YouTube all the time, well, if I have to be ruthless, I don't want to be rich. Thank you. Fortunately for you guys, almost everybody would rather be poor than not be ruthless. But if you can't get tough, you're going to be writing in a blog a year from now, QLA didn't work. And what you should write is, I couldn't make QLA work because I didn't follow the steps. That's what you should write. But you won't do that because all your life you haven't been accountable, so you don't want to be accountable now. Ray Kroc, brilliant guy, an asshole.
See, if you're not a billionaire, you failed in my eyes. Those are the only, just like Nick, those are the only guys I keep track of. The 187 world champions he's got, or whatever the number was. Yeah, those are the only ones I keep track of. I remember their names. I'm not going to know your fucking name tomorrow. No, next week. Tomorrow I will because you're still here. Next week I'm not going to know your fucking name. The world only remembers winners, or because Hitler was a winner. As I said before, he was killing the wrong people. But the point that the young lady made, he didn't know shit. No matter, I can have a seminar from now till Christmas and you won't believe that. Because if that's true, as I said yesterday, then why are you where you are today if you don't have to know shit to be a billionaire? Why? Poor role models, blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's why. But you don't have to know shit. And the more you know about the industry, the less likely you're going to be a billionaire. I used to tell people, nobody wanted to hear it, I didn't know that oil and gas came up the same hole. Oil and gas come up the same hole, and then there's a separator on top, and you separate. But I thought it came up 2 holes for 10 years, no, 7 years. And we had the fastest growing energy company on the planet for 8 years in a row. And the founders were, none of us were oil and gas guys. Accountant, lawyer, me. Now I know a lot. Now I know enough. No, that's too risky, I would say. And certain things that I did before, no, fuck. That's a 1 in 20 shot. I wouldn't, there's a saying in this country, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I mean, and I probably wouldn't have made all that money.